Okay, we are going to be putting our sketchbooks together. Now, I'm going to show you two different materials to use. One you're going to have possibly at home, one you may not. And we're going to be doing, I'm going to do it with all three papers that I had painted in our first video so you can see it no matter which paper you are using. So we have our 9 by 12. You should have painted two of them. And I'm going to show you with the same paper, putting it in the middle. That will be one. The watercolor paper, and I'm using the 9 by 12 construction paper on the inside. And then the 12 by 18 student drawing paper with the same paper on the inside. So I'm going to show you three different ways. What you will also need is something, I'm going to attempt to use a ruler, something so we can crease the paper with. One way you can do it is a stapler, or I'm going to show you a way to use elastic string, and this way you can insert paper without taking it apart, where if you do the stapler you may have to make a whole new sketchbook or take the staples out and staple it again. So I'm going to show you two different ways. First, I'm going to use the 12 by 18 drawing paper. Again, I have the same paper on the inside, it's just blank. And if you're stapling, you got to be careful because you can probably only staple maybe 10 to 12 papers possibly because you're folding it. You'll just kind of have to try. Sometimes I can figure it out. Sometimes I can get more. So if you take all of the paper with your cover on it, then you're going to fold it in half. And I kind of try to get it as close as I can together. And then you're going to take your ruler or something hard. It doesn't have to be a ruler. And you're going to press it on the crease parts. This just helps really get a nice fold and not to be as bulky. It's kind of smearing my... It's okay. So once you do that, if you are using a stapler, there is something called a long-handed stapler that I have in my classroom that slips all the way in here and able to do it. Because with this one, you can't do it. You don't want to do it horizontal because you won't be able to close the sketchbook correctly. You can't really do it vertical because of this, it stops right here. So you're going to have to end up closing it and putting staples on the edge. Make sure you're on the folded edge, not the open edge. So you would put one at the top and make sure all your paper's in there. One at the top, one in the middle, and one at the end. You got to be careful because the side that is not the back side of the stapler, if it doesn't go all the way through, it will be sharp. And I have, from experience, cut myself on them, so you need to be careful. So that is the way you're using the stapler, if you are. I'm going to show you how to use the elastic. And again, this is a way where you can slip more paper in if you have run out of paper. So as someone who's going to be using these and having a lot of kids using them, I'm going to use this type in my classroom this year and see how it goes. This is new. I have not tried this before. So I just got elastic. You can probably get it from a store, a craft store, but it's off Amazon. I'm going to make sure it is long enough to go on the outside and then come to the inside, and I can tie it nicely. So I'm going to make sure it's long enough. So what I've done, laid it out, putting it on the crease, taking it from here, trying to get it on, and then I'm going to tie it in a knot. I need to have it somewhat taut so it keeps it together. So you might want to trim the excess off. So it holds them together. It may wear this paper down in the corners just from opening and closing it. But if you ever want to put a piece of paper in or take a piece of paper out, all you do is simply slide it in with the elastic band, and you're able to add more pages. And as a teacher who is going to see many students and we may run through the paper quite quickly, then that is a plus for me. So that is one option with the stapler or the elastic, tying it in the middle. Another sketchbook, if you made the watercolor paper. So I have the watercolor paper. I want it horizontal. I'm going to take 9 by 12 paper. And I'm actually going to make this cover is going to be wider or bigger than the actual paper inside. So I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to take the paper and I'm just going to lay it kind of in the middle. Again, you could cut off the excess paper, but that doesn't bother me. It just kind of helps protect this paper a little more. Then again, and you want to make sure I don't have too much in here. I may have a little too much. I usually count 10 to 15 papers when I'm doing these school-wide. It gives us enough paper to make it through a couple classes, quite a few classes without doing it. Then again, I'm going to fold it, meeting up the outside with the outside. You can use anything to crease it. You can even use scissors if you have scissors, the handle. This watercolor paper can be very hard to crease, so you do want to push and give a lot of pressure. Okay, again, staple. Well, I'll show you this with the stapler. So I want to make sure I'm getting the paper, not just the cover. And I may want to do 4 just because this is a little bit thicker. So again, you want to stay as close to the edge and be aware, make sure, see it didn't go all the way through. So I'm probably going to go and do in between, the opposite. You may want to put some duct tape or washi tape over the edge because this edge, like I said, will cut you. So sometimes I like to find some cute tape. Oh, I ran out of tape. Well, darn. Find some more. Okay, or tape that doesn't match, but, and just take it right to the edge, right over the staplers. I'll do both sides, so that way it protects little fingers from getting cut, or teacher fingers. So again, this is just washi tape. You could use duct tape. Duct tape works very well. And it's bigger. You wouldn't have to use 2 pieces. You just use 1 and fold it over. So adding tape to the edge, sometimes, not always, like it poked through, helps seal that off so it doesn't poke you. And then again, you have a sketchbook inside. So, number 2. Number 3, I'm using the 9x12 construction paper covers that I made, and I am making sure, you want to make sure they're on the, you're on the inside. Same paper on the inside since it's the same size. And I do not have to fold or crease it because it all matches up. So I'm going to pick a side. And I'm going to staple. Hopefully it makes it through all this paper. Again, trying to stay as close to the edge as possible. Again, I'm probably going to do more than 4 just for durability. And then you have this. Again, I would take some tape and just kind of run it over the edge just to make sure staples are not going to hurt anybody. Give it a little extra color. And then you have a sketchbook. So regardless of how you are putting it together, your goal is to make sure that it is together. You could always staple it across the top and have a front folding sketchbook instead of a horizontal opening. You could do a vertical opening, so that way it doesn't matter. But you can always, as long as you have something with paper put together, you could put it on a clipboard. But we will be using these sketchbooks throughout the year. What we use them for is if, I know in the classroom, if we have extra time after you have completed the painting, we pull out sketchbooks. We use it to practice what we are working on that week. If we're drawing a more difficult drawing, we will take the sketchbook, open it up. I always like to help by, and we do use a pencil for this part. We draw 3 boxes, somewhat the same size, and then we practice drawing our goal that week. It gives us a little bit more confidence as we go to our paper, because if you're at home, probably you did not purchase a whole ton of paper. Maybe you did, but in the classroom, since Miss Lawson is limited on supplies, my rule is you get one piece of paper to put our final product on there. So we always want to make sure we are confident in what we are drawing. And sometimes I use this to guide the kids, and we'll talk about which one is their best work, which one needs work, what's wrong with one, and we kind of, try to pick out which one's the best one so we know exactly what we're doing once we get our paper assignment. So elastic band, staples, some kind of tape to protect. I don't think Scotch tape will work. I mean, Scotch tape is similar to washi tape, so I know some of these already went through, but duct tape does work. And then the papers that you painted, and then blank paper inside. And I will be posting other doodle videos, either using the ones I've created or ones that we have from other websites I recommend. Each week there'll be another doodle. Usually the doodle will connect with what we are working on, or just something fun and different. So I can't wait to see some of your sketchbooks. I hope you have fun creating your own at home or in the classroom with Miss Lawson. And our first doodle for the week 001 is going to be the kitty cat.